G'day folks, out here in the veggie patch today talking about when to harvest your tomatoes. Now today is going to be a stinking 41 degrees Celsius day here in Victoria, and as you can see I've already got a handful of my tomatoes harvested ahead of the heat because they'll over ripen on the vine and we don't want that. So a lot of people ask, when should I harvest my tomatoes? And there's a lot of schools of thought on it. Some people like them to ripen on the vine. Other people like the plant to produce more tomatoes, so they take them off at the breaker stage, which I'll explain to you in a moment. And they like to then take those broken, for a better word, tomatoes, take them inside and let them ripen inside. Tomatoes do ripen off the vine, which is really important to know. So if you've got bad weather, extra heat coming along, and you want to get those tomatoes inside like I am, do that, let them ripen inside, and you'll still get a beautifully sweet, juicy, tasty tomato. Now behind me I've got, well, these are my San Marzanos, and they're got quite a few. I've got 18 plants in here at the moment, actually 17, one's already finished. And they're hitting that really heavy fruiting stage. So they've produced a lot of fruit, and they're all coming on to ripen now because we're at the end of January. And I'll just show you what they're looking like now. So here's one of my San Marzano tomato plants. And as you can see, we've got an array of green. Some have just a bit of a blush on them. Some of them have gone a bit further. And of course, some of them over here are just still quite very small indeed. Okay. Now, for me, these are my sourcing tomatoes. I'll be producing, hopefully, 20 bottles of sauce, 20 litres of sauce out of all of these. So I've planted enough tomato plants to produce that much sauce for my family for this year. And there are a number of plants going through various stages of fruiting, as you can see in here as well. And of course, we get busy. You know, we don't get out here every single day. And as a result, some of them do in fact become riper on the vine. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that for me. It's really a measure of how busy I've been and when I can get out here to take care of this. Now down here is my harvest basket. Got some of my green zebras here. These ones are much more riper. Got that yellow blush, slightly pink tone to it, very, very subtle. And under here we've got some prosperities, which is pretty much the entire bottom basket. Some black cherries, some white ice cherries. There should be a few Roma cherries in there too. There we go. Breaker stage is when they go from mostly green and you get a little bit of red on it. And as they say, once they break into the colour, you can pretty much harvest them and let them ripen inside. Obviously, the greener they are, the longer they'll take to ripen inside. You don't need them in direct sunlight. That's probably the first thing to know if you're ripening them inside. But certainly on a windowsill, out of direct sunlight, that's what I do. And in a few days, these will be as red as these prosperities are. And as you can see, these shoulders are still a little bit green, but that's okay. These can go straight in the fridge, and that'll just slow that ripening down, so I can get some of those for sandwiches this week. And the rest of these will go into the freezer for me to make pasta sauces and a range of other dishes throughout the year. So there we have it, folks. When do you harvest your tomatoes? If you don't want to battle the birds, you can in fact take them off once they've moved between green and a little bit of red. The more red they are, the quicker they'll ripen inside, but certainly don't pick them green because there's the possibility that you won't actually get them to turn red and you would have lost that tomato. So there we have it, folks. Now you know what your options are. You can choose the best path for you. knowing that if you leave them to fully ripen on the vine, you will lose them to birds. I've certainly lost maybe a dozen or so this season because I haven't been out here enough. And I certainly hope that doesn't happen to you. If you like these videos, remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons and share it around to all of your gardening friends. Happy gardening!